Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video we're going to be making a laser cut Christmas project completely over on the TOOCAA 20W diode laser engraver. Now it has been a while since we checked in over here on the TOOCAA laser. You guys remember we swapped it around with the longer 20W laser, and there was nothing wrong with the longer one. It was just that the TOOCAA came fully enclosed with the protective shield here to protect your eyes. Of course, anytime I use the laser engraver, I try to remind myself to make sure to wear the safety UV goggles that are included with all laser engravers. But I've got a really cool design here that comes from a site like Etsy or things like that. They're readily available on a lot of sites, and there's several different styles to pick from. But what we're going to be making is a miniature Christmas lantern that can be powered by an LED light source, like an electronic tea light. So really cool, and it's going to be cut completely out of the 3mm craft plywood. My buddy Robert, when he came down from New York, he'd give me a supply of this, and I thank you for that, buddy. So really cool. I'm really eager to get back to making laser engraver videos just to show you guys, just like a scroll saw, how versatile and creative a laser can be out in a garage or workshop. Now, due to the size of the file, you can see it loaded up there on the white screen on the laptop back there, hopefully. I'm going to have to do this in two different passes, two different sections, so to speak. But if you had a bigger laser bed, you can see the size of the laser bed here. This is about the size of material I can engrave and cut on the laser. I can go a little bit bigger, but this is the size that I like to work with. It's around 12 inches square here. Again, I can go a little bit bigger, but this is the size I prefer to work with. And again, it's just a great machine to have out in a garage or workshop. You can see it's already in the Christmas spirit. I've got a little Christmas tree over there on it. But again, due to the size of the laser bed, we're going to have to use two different pieces of the 3mm plywood. I've already got one piece loaded into the laser bed, and I'm really excited to get this Christmas lantern made to show you guys over here on the platform. I made it several weeks ago, and I documented it on my social media feeds, but you guys showed some interest, and I wanted to come back and make it in a visual format. So since the material is already loaded into the laser bed, let's get on our safety UV goggles, turn on the air filtration unit, and get this Christmas laser project started. And before we head over to the laser itself, I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about in the Lightburn software. You can see that no matter how I orient all the pieces, I cannot get all of them fit entirely onto the laser bed for one individual pass, so we'll be going in two individual passes to cut out all of the pieces. But as I said, I already had a piece of the 3mm craft plywood that my buddy Robert gave me loaded into the laser bed itself. So we will frame out the pieces here, trying to take advantage of all of the material here and save as much of it for future projects as possible. But now I'll put the GoPro in, and this is my first time using it in this manner here on a little stand in the enclosure. We are trying this out. But now that everything is ready, I hit start over on Lightburn, and the laser began. Now obviously all of the footage is sped up here, and with the amazing TOOCAA 20W laser engraver, here is my view of the laser while it is running. It has that nice translucent case all the way around it where I can keep a good eye on it wherever I'm at in the workshop. But we will of course switch to that interior view that the GoPro will provide here momentarily. And here is the view from the GoPro itself, and you can see how the enclosure of the TOOCAA laser works. It's doing a great job of capturing all the smoke and the fumes, and with that vent in the back, it is piping them out of the workshop, keeping the actual air quality in the workshop itself as clean as possible. For the settings I used here, and again I'm using the Lightburn software, I'm using a speed of 300, power of 95%, one pass with air assist on. And you can see it is cutting everything out cleanly and crisply here. And I hope it goes without saying that once everything is laser cut, please be very careful with the pieces due to the thin nature of the material and some of the details in the project itself. It is very fragile. But after the laser is done laser cutting, I'll leave it alone for around 5 minutes to make sure all of the smoke and fumes have been extracted. And then I will step back over to the laser and we'll be ready to remove everything and get ready for our second pass here. Being careful with the pieces, and I'll discard all of this waste material here. It makes for good kindling. And now it's just a rinse and repeat of what we have already done. I'm framing out the material again, making sure everything is lined up properly, and we're hitting start on the second pass. It took around, I believe, 30 minutes to do the first pass, and then only 20 minutes to do this pass here. So it doesn't take long at all. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. I'd really appreciate the support. And also check out the laser engravers that TOOCAA offers. They are quality machines and they are billed as the world's safest laser engravers. The laser is now already almost done cutting out all of these pieces here. And again, once everything is completely laser cut, I'll leave the laser setting for around 5 minutes. That just lets me know that all of the smoke and fumes have been extracted out of the back of the workshop before I open the enclosure to remove the pieces. But now that everything is laser cut, I'll once again gather up all the pieces, and I've moved the GoPro out of the way there. And when I get all the pieces, I will spread them all out over on the Rikon table saw so you can see all of the pieces that actually make up this Christmas lantern that we are making. And you can see it's not very many pieces at all, but again, be very careful with them because I want to reiterate on how fragile they are, especially the panels that make up the windows. But now it's time to begin the glue up, and for the glue up, I'll use medium grade CA glue and activator from Klingspor Woodworking Shop. And since this is a tabbed and slotted design, it goes together very easily. It can be a little tedious lining up all of the slots for the top here, but I got them all in place and glued in with dabs of glue. After everything was glued, I left it sitting for around 5 minutes to make sure that CA glue had completely dried and cured. And then I turned off the lights in the workshop to let you guys see the Christmassy glow it has. And that's just a little dollar store electronic tea light I have on the inside for the light source. Thank you all for watching. And here we have the completed winter scene Christmas lantern, laser cut completely from start to finish over on the TOOCAA 20W laser engraver, and it finished up beautifully with some beautiful and delicate Christmas scenery in it. I hope it goes without saying that this project is very, very fragile due to the thin nature of the material. You can see how thin the material here is. It's the 3mm craft plywood that works very well with laser engravers. Again, the file for this came off of websites like Etsy. There's a plethora of this style of design for seasonal decor that you can choose from, but I really love this creative design here for the Christmas season. When you look around at all of the panels, you have a beautiful wintry scene. You do have the Christmas trees here, appropriate for the Christmas season. Then you have a deer here and a doe. So you have the buck and the doe, like a couple out in the winter wonderland. And then you have these delicate snowflakes, and they are very fragile. I actually broke 2 of the little flakes off, and I had to touch them up with CA glue and activator. I did that off camera. And then at the top you have a nice snowflake there. And the way that this project is made, it can have a variety of display and usage options. It does have the door here that swings open. So if you wanted to put a little Santa Claus in there, you could totally do that. Or if you wanted to put a beautiful Christmas ornament, you could make this piece here longer and you could hang it from the inside. Of course, you could wire it and make a base for it to have it permanently lit up, as opposed to an electronic tea light like we have done here. You guys seen the beautiful Christmassy, glow that you've seen, and it just flips on there with a little switch. I think it's a watch battery. Pick these up at the dollar store, and that powers it. But you can put it in there and close it and turn all the lights off, and it emits again that beautiful Christmassy glow that is appropriate for this time of year. Of course, you don't want to put a real lit candle in there, because be aware that this is wood and a real open flame. Just be aware of that. And speaking of being aware of everything, anytime I walked over to the laser to check on it today, I had on the safety UV goggles, and we had the air filtration unit running in the workshop as well. But you can see how well the exhaust vent on the TOOCAA 20W laser piped out all of the smoke and the fumes and kept the air quality in the workshop itself as clean as possible. While the laser was cutting this out, I didn't really leave it unattended for long periods of time. As a matter of fact, I was over here on the scroll saw working on custom Christmas gifts for the Christmas season for family, friends, and loved ones. But during that time, this beautiful piece emerged out of the TOOCAA laser. For a time, it took around 30 minutes to do the initial cut, doing the 6 panels here with all of the intricate details like the snowflakes and everything here. And then with the second pass, again, I said at the beginning of the video, if you have a larger laser engraver bed, you could potentially make this in one single go. But it took around 30 minutes to do the original 6 panels here, and I'll tell you guys the settings here. And then the second piece we loaded in that made the top details, the bottom, and the base and everything, that took around 15 minutes. So around 45 minutes to completely laser cut this out completely from start to finish. And the settings I used were in the Lightburn software. And keep in mind, this is a TOOCAA 20W laser engraver. I know laser engravers are becoming more and more affordable for people out there in their garage or workshops to be able to pick up and try and get to making and creating with them. I think a laser is just as versatile as a scroll saw out in a garage or workshop. But the settings I used in the Lightburn software was speed 300, power 95%, one individual pass with air assist on. And you can see how cleanly and crisply it cut everything out. All of the details in the snowflakes, the Christmas trees, the buck and the doe there, you know, the little couple out in the winter wonderland. And I really like how the door works there. It's just a couple of holes that was cut there. It's just kind of a tabbed and slotted design. And it's just a really cool design. Of course, with a design like this, you could totally cut it out on a scroll saw. You could save the photos, the design, the pattern, so to speak, to a JPEG and print it out and cut it out over at your scroll saw if you wanted to really test your abilities with the delicate cuts. And if you have a larger laser engraver, this is one thing I really like about them, is you could enlarge this and make it potentially bigger out of 1/4 inch material and really put some nice decor on the inside. If one of you out there viewing the video have made one of these style of lanterns, I know they come for Halloween, for Christmas, for seasonal stuff. You know, they even have blank lantern designs where you could drop your own images in there. So that's a really cool, versatile way. But if you have made one of these, please post it and let me know where I can go and see it. I'd love to see the creative nature of all you guys viewing the video out there in the big wide world we live in. But I left this one natural because I really like the charred edge that the laser provides when it laser cuts everything, and then the light shade of the material here. I think that's a really cool aesthetic and a really cool artistic vibe. But you could of course go in here and stain everything. You could go in here with acrylic craft paints and really jazz a project like this up and paint all the woodland scenes and everything. And then of course you do have the door where you can put a light source in, this little electronic tea light here. So you have a lot of options and versatility for a project that doesn't take a long time to make on a laser engraver. Speaking of the laser engravers, that is a 20-watt laser, as I've already said multiple times, but I know lasers can be lower wattage or more powerful, so the time that it may take for you to make a project just like this out in your garage or workshop may vary. But hopefully in today's video, from the start until now, I hope I have inspired you guys to try a beautiful Christmas themed project out in your garage or workshop. If you like this project, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, channel, please click that subscribe button and also follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social media feeds will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you guys. Get to making and getting creating out in your garage or workshops this Christmas season. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.